Well, if by some chance this is the first video on our channel that you're watching, we've been building a house now for over 2 years. And well, along the way, we've had large loads of rock. We've had multiple loads of rock. And we've also had really expensive loads of rock brought in. 3 times what that rock should cost, but beggars can't be choosers on a Friday afternoon when the projects hold up on rock. During those times, I've thought to myself, man, it would be really nice to have a dump. One day I'm driving home from a supply run and I see this on the side of the road. And I think to myself, it's probably really expensive. I mean, I don't even know how much dump trucks cost. But I thought, well, I'll take a look at it, and I'll be darned, the guy called me back. It was reasonably priced, and so now we got ourselves a dump truck. I'm super excited because this is going to do a lot of the things that we need, including give us kind of the freedom to get rock and haul other materials around our property and other things like that that we haven't been able to do really up to this point. So this thing is a 1986 Ford 8000 dump truck. It is in amazing condition. I don't even know what its past was beyond the fact that it used to carry some sort of like asphalt tank in the bed. You guys are not gonna believe how good of condition this truck is in. But what I wanna do today is I wanna go through everything and try to get it fired up and make sure things are kind of working good, and then we can get it ready to start working. When I looked it over, the first thing I looked at was tires, and all the rubber seems like it's in really good condition. So I'm thinking this thing didn't sit out in the sun. It must have been in some sort of protected storage facility, because obviously it's not new. This is a single axle dump truck, so we can't haul a tremendous amount of weight, but I'm okay with that. The sun's a little intense at the moment, but we actually do have a dual rear tire there, and the tires are in fantastic condition. Lots and lots of tread, so feeling pretty good about that. They look like they're fully aired up. Everything looks good there. Check out these like side rails. This is fun for cleaning out all the stuff that I'm just sure we're gonna end up getting into the bed. Let's take a look at this together. Oh, we got a little bit of water in here. Look at this bed, guys. Will you believe this? It literally looks like a brand spanking new dump bed. It's amazing what happens when you don't drop huge rocks inside the bed. Of course, I think that's gonna change because we're gonna be hauling a lot of rock with it. So unfortunately, feast your eyes on this beautiful bed now, because it's probably not going to stay that way for very long. The capacity on this dump bed is 6 yards. That's about half of the capacity of the dump trucks that normally bring us rock and things. But that's okay, because sometimes we actually need half loads of things like sand or washed rock or something. So it'll be nice to get smaller loads and not have to keep that rock around. Like, we still have a bunch of drain rock that we aren't using for anything, but it's really expensive, so now it just sits around. So hopefully with a smaller bed, if we need to, we'll just make more loads. There was a time where this had a plow on it, and it's totally set up for a snow plow. Still has all the hydraulic connections and the controls in the cab. I don't think that we're going to use this for plowing at all, but it's good to know that it's an option. It looked to me at first glance like all the exhaust and everything is intact. I just imagine based on where this exhaust is located, it's probably prone to rotting out or rusting. It looks like maybe somebody recently replaced some of those pieces there, so everything looks like it's pretty good up the exhaust stack. So I think that's all looking pretty good. Let's see, this must be, yeah, so I'm guessing this is the new door latch. Super high tech. Yeah, nothing in there. Got a tire iron. That tire iron is going to take you a long time to change tire. Ooh, it's a double safety. Looks like they had some sort of like hand utensils, maybe like a shovel or something on the sides. That kind of makes sense. So we'll have to see what we can fit there and then make sure it's secured. I'm looking like shovel handle on this one too. We can control the tailgate from inside the cab, and that's what that little arm there does. It actually is operable from the cab, so we can latch that, dump, and then latch it, and away we go. We don't even have to get out. I'm not sure. Oh, it does look like we can actually tailgate with this thing too, so I think we can take those chains and we can actually loop them around to here, I think, and that will keep the tailgate from opening all the way so we can spread rock. It's set up with a pintle hitch, but I noticed that it doesn't have the glad hands on it. So even though we did buy a flatbed trailer to go with this, we were probably going to need to get those added because it does have air brakes, but we don't have a way to hook the trailer up to that. So I'm not going to make that a priority right now, but it'd be nice to have that ability. And then here's all the controls or the supply for that asphalt spreading machine here. Probably want to get those protected. Looks like they do have caps, but they're not in use at the moment. So I guess we'll work on getting those cleaned up and make sure they're not getting road grime and stuff in them. I'm sure those are cheap to replace. Batteries look like they're all in good condition. The lid seems to be missing for the battery compartment, so I might want to get one of those made or make one. Cables look like they're doing okay. It looks like that's kind of grommet back there in the back probably needs to be fixed, otherwise we're going to wear a hole in one of these battery cables and that's going to get really flippin' exciting. Everything looks pretty good underneath. I don't really see anything that's leaking massively. I mean, this drive line here has got quite a bit of something on it. It might just be hydraulic oil or something like that. So we're going to want to probably look into that, figure out what's going on. A little bit of leak on the bottom of the pumpkin there. Probably ought to take a look at the differential before we put too much work into this thing. Otherwise, it's actually pretty clean underneath here. This is the solenoid there, I believe, that actuates the tailgate, so hopefully that works. Everything should be working good. Just found this, looks like a quick connect for a hose line, which is nice. I didn't see that before, so I'll probably clean that up and get that ready for use. Now looks like we got a little bit of fuel in there, not a ton, so we'll probably add a little bit of fuel. So I believe that this is a 3208 Caterpillar V8 diesel, naturally aspirated. It sounds like these were kind of the Ford F-150 of diesel engines for this type of platform. They're used in a lot of other things like marine and stuff like that. So far this thing seems like all the pieces are there. You know, everything looks like it checks out. All the hoses look like they're in good shape. I haven't really seen anything looking through this truck that looks like, you know, it's in bad repair. There's a lot of aggregate and things kind of up here on the headers, which I'm guessing is probably from the years doing asphalt work. Everything kind of seems to have a little bit of a generous layer of seal coating on it, which I guess a lot of you guys would probably pay for this in the terms of like undercoating or rhino lining or something like that. So this one comes from the factory with a very generous coat of rhino liner, courtesy of being an asphalt truck. Power steering looks good. Looks like the date on this filter is 2008, so it's been a couple weeks, I think, since this filter was changed. That looks like it's probably a fuel filter, that one there. Not even sure where the oil filters are on this thing. Oh, looks like might have found them there. And looks like they're definitely not new or newish. I don't see any dates on them or anything like that, so I think it's safe to assume that they're probably 2008. Looks like according to that sticker, this engine holds 20 US quarts. Make that a big whopping 5 gallons of oil. Holy smokes. Let's take a look at the other side here. Air cleaner doesn't look too shabby, but that's probably gonna need to be replaced anyway, just as a matter of caution. Coolant's looking decent. Yeah, coolant looks good. It even looks like it's good coolant. I have a hunch that this radiator's been replaced. It's got a tag on it, which doesn't really mean much, but I had read that the water pump on these 3208 cats can lose the bearings, and that fan blade goes right through the radiator. So it's pretty common to see radiators on these things. Alternator's looking good. How about belts? Oh, that's a pretty loose belt there. Might want to tighten that one up just a hair. Looks good. Boy, there's a lot of rocks down there. Probably want to get those out of there. Don't think we need any rocks on our engine. Everything looks like it's all there. Everything looks pretty put together. I don't see anything out of place, so that's a good place to start. Let's maybe check the oil filter there. That looks like it's maybe hydraulic fluid. Doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure what that one is. It's kind of a weird looking filter, but this dipstick's a mile long. Oh, it's actually shorter than the one on our other truck. Looks like it's reading pretty full. Yeah, oil looks good. It actually looks clean. It's a little dirty. I mean, it's a diesel, so pretty much the second you turn it on, the oil's dirty. But otherwise, the oil doesn't look bad. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Looks like that's our temp sensor there. So here's hoping our water temperature gauge works. Holy mackerel, that's a monster starter down there. Thing is no joke. Here's hoping we don't have to replace that. That would really suck. I don't see a way to tell how much fluid's in the hydraulic reservoir. Let's look at the other side. Maybe there's something over there that I'm not seeing. Well, I see this gauge here and it's got a thermometer on it, but I guess I don't see anything in there, so it makes me wonder if maybe we're low on fluid, or if maybe you just can't see it with the bed down. Kind of sucks. Pretty hard to get in there and even see in that cap with the bed down, so I'm not sure what to do on that one. Well, let's see if we can even see down in here to see if there's any fluid in there at all. Well, it looks like there's just a screen, so can't really even see down in there, so I guess we're gonna have to assume that there's fluid and then find a better way of keeping an eye on that reservoir. Well, the interior looks really good. I mean, for the age of the truck and then for how many miles are on it, it doesn't look too bad at all. It doesn't look like, you know, the usual mess. I mean, it doesn't look clean, but for something of this type and this age, I would have expected it to be a total train wreck. So we've got our tachometer over here, and what I've read is that this engine really does not like RPMs. So low RPMs are your friend. I see they've got a sticker on here of maximum RPM. We've got our hydraulic pump switch there, and we've got our roto light. I actually bought a new one of those, so we'll probably be putting that on. It's just a lot brighter, and it sounds like when we're in the quarry getting rock and things like that, we just want to be as visible as possible, so we're going to take that up a notch. Got a couple indicator lights there. I'm hoping that our temp gauge and our oil pressure gauge and everything works correctly. If they don't, man, it sucks. You're probably going to want to get those fixed. We got our air pressure there. Plow lights, which obviously we don't have, parking brake, and our battery indicator. So all the gauges look like they're in good condition, so here's hoping they all work. We've got an hour meter, and I'm hoping that also works. I know I've found with a lot of the other equipment that we have that miles really don't mean much. A lot of our equipment idles quite a bit, so an hour meter definitely seems like a better idea here, depending on how much time you spend idling. Got the controls for the dump here, up and down, and then these we won't use for anything right now, but those are for the plow, up and down and left and right. This thing's got a 13-speed transmission with reverse, so I guess technically it would be, what, 16 speed? We've got low, intermediate, and direct, and then we've got 3 speeds here on low, and then we've got 5 speeds on intermediate and direct. So 13 forward speeds, and then 3 in reverse. No, I've never driven a 13 speed, so this is going to be kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to suck really bad at it at first, but hopefully this truck is somewhat forgiving because of that cat engine. I guess probably ought to get good at driving it before we start sticking a lot of weight in it or trying to go up really steep inclines. Let's test some of these lights here real quick. Let's see, do we get any life? Well, we're showing charge on the battery. Sounds like the hour meter's ticking over. Yep, we got life on the hour meter. Check our roto light. Looks like the indicator light came on. Hot diggity dog. Yeah, we're gonna need to do better than that. That's not nearly enough light. Let's turn the hydraulic pump off. That's off. Roto light's off. I wonder what that is. Must be our overhead lights. Oh yeah, we got marker lights on top. Sweet, and they actually work. We got our horn here. Should we give it a test? Oh yeah, horn definitely works. I think we just blew a couple of hornets' nests out of there though. Oh boy, that's gonna be really fun. All right, let's see if this girl will start. So we're in neutral. Let's turn the overhead marker lights off. Here we go. Well, that started too easy. That wasn't exciting at all. Wow, she runs good though. All right. Got good air pressure, so that's good. Parking brake seems to work. Got a charge on the alternator. Oil pressure, assuming that works. I think it was pegged off when we first were in here, so I think that's accurate. We got no temperature obviously, and fuel we're showing a little low. I'm wondering if there's one fuel indicator for both sides. So we just added a bunch of fuel. Well, she sounds good. Runs nice and smooth, fired right up. I don't see, well, there's a little bit of smoke coming out of there, so maybe we just need to clean it up a little bit. Probably drive it for a little while. Keep an eye on the oil, but we're definitely not billowing smoke of any kind, so that's good. Brakes seem to be working good. Park brake's holding it just fine. Okay, well, let's see if the dump bed works. Oh, looks like we got to start the hydraulic pump on. All right, let's try that again. Looks like it's working. Oh yeah, looking good. Nice and smooth. Hydraulics seem to work well. That cylinder looks like it's in good shape. I don't see any leaks. I mean, that line's got a little bit of fluid on it, but overall the cylinder looks nice and straight. The real test would be to leave it sitting here for a while and see if it sags, see if there's anything wrong with that cylinder. Tailgate must close pretty good. There's a lot of water in there and it's only coming out really slow. Thing seals up nice and tight. You can make a swimming pool out of this thing. sounds like we lost an airline or something. We're losing pressure, and our brake light's on now. I don't think we have enough air pressure to actually actuate the brakes. I hear something leaking under here. Yeah, an airline right there. Just not sure what it goes to. The whole line must have broke or something. 'Cause it looks to me like this fitting goes right here, but I don't see the airline that goes to it. That looks like it's probably the supply. And then there's this guy. Well, I don't think this is gonna hold, but we're gonna try it. Maybe it'll hold long enough to get us home. Well, I think that's the answer right there. Something's missing from this fitting. Maybe it blew out, or maybe it was never there to begin with. Well, I don't think it's gonna hold, but let's give it a try. Takes a minute for that system to come up to pressure, so it's probably not gonna pop off right away. I'm also worried about this little junction I put in. And in case you're wondering, yeah, that's from the wife's garden. That's all I have on hand, so that could fail right there too. I don't have any compression fittings. I'll have to get one and repair this line. I'm assuming that's where this goes though, because it's the only place I can find that seems to have a fitting that's clean and a hose seems to be missing. Well, we're at 60 pounds, 70 pounds. Looks like we're sitting at about 80 pounds. It's enough to have the brakes let go, so we should be able to at least drive it. But if that fails, then we're stuck wherever we are until we get a repair. I might try just driving this around a little bit here and see if that's gonna hold. Well, it seems like that works fine, so I'm assuming that's the tailgate here. Let's try that again, see. Nope, there it goes. Keeps popping out of that compression fitting. It's because I think there might be an insert that's missing right there. So good decision on not moving the truck right now. So I think what I might do is just plug that off for now, because I don't really need it. And I'd rather get the truck over to the house. It's much easier to work in the driveway. And then we'll have to get whatever that piece is missing on that compression fitting, get that repaired. I think that's the actuator for the tailgate actuator. Figure that out. It's like a manifold. I think that powers that tailgate. Other than that, I think we might actually get this truck home today. We'll let that build up some pressure and see if that plug's gonna hold. We're at 90 pounds right now. I think that's probably about as high as we go, is about 90, maybe 95, so. Well, it's been a few minutes and it looks like the airline repair is holding for right now, so I'd like to get this over here before it decides to give up the ghost. So let's get this thing to the house. Into a higher gear. Oh boy. Oh yeah, grinding all the gears. nice. We didn't lose our brakes, and I didn't grind the gears as bad as I thought I would. But we've got our work already cut out for us. So there's no CB in there, which we need when we go to the quarry, and probably wouldn't hurt to have in general. So I've got one of those, and we can get that installed coming soon. I'm probably going to work through all the fluids on this and kind of get up to speed on the hydraulic system, figure out what's going on there. Probably do an oil change, you know, all the basic stuff. And then I've got a better flashy light that I want to get installed. Welcome to the family, dump truck. Welcome to the family. We're going to be doing some good work this summer. Oof. Should we do anything to the paint? Or should we just leave it patina? I don't know. Maybe at least get rid of the last guy's phone number, huh?